I'm gonna have to be blunt here. I'm not sticking around with an old grandma anymore.
Huh? What are you talking about?
I'm saying that I'd rather be with a young woman any day, as opposed to with you. I had been trying my best to stick around with you for a while now. But as I knew what would happen, I've reached my limit. So can we get a divorce?
What are you saying, Randy? Huh? Are you being serious right now?
I mean, Liz, you're already 39 years old, right? You and I are 9 whole years apart in age. Back when I had married you was a time in which I was excited to be with an older woman, and so were a lot of other men. But now I wonder why the hell I ever got married to you in the first place. Even your skin feels a lot worse than that of a young gal's. And so with that, let's get divorced.
Have you hit your head on something? You know all that I've done for you up until now, right? And do you know why I'm in the hospital right now?
I know why.
I'm here to give birth to our baby. Yet during this very important and stressful time of our life, you're going on about wanting a divorce?
A 39-year-old giving birth to a baby is really the most disappointing thing I've ever heard of.
What?
And that's why I'm asking for a divorce. I'm telling you right now that I have another woman that I love. And she's a young gal whose skin is as soft as cotton candy. So that little brat that you're gonna give birth to isn't gonna get any love from me.
Wait, Randy. Can you not see how much of a jerk you're being right now? I've known for a bit now that you've been acting suspicious and probably had another lady, but I didn't think you'd drag all of that this far and into a relationship. What the hell are you talking about? I'm having a really hard time understanding what's going on with you. Is this all supposed to be a joke? Your timing is the worst for it. Why don't you go find somewhere to calm down a bit and rethink what you've just said to me?
Why don't I? Because while you've been in the hospital getting ready to give birth, I've moved out of the house.
Huh?
The apartment has been your place for the longest time now, even before I came. So it has nothing to do with me anymore. I moved all my things and myself out of there, and left the divorce papers on the counter for you. Go ahead and fill the rest in for me and hand them in.
Are you kidding me? I just had your daughter, Randy. What the actual hell are you going on about? Calm down right now, please.
I'm calm right now, Liz. No matter how you try and get me to stay with you guys, I'm never gonna love that little brat of yours. That thing is none of my business. And I can't even believe that you thought about having a baby at your age in the first place.
You're being a monster right now. She's your daughter as well, right? And after all the effort I have put into carrying and birthing her, you're going to say awful things like that? I'm not going to forgive you for this.
I couldn't care less if you forgave me or not. I'm never going to be seeing you ever again after this, so have fun being upset with me.
You don't even plan to ever come to see your baby's girl's face? This has all got to be some sort of joke.
I told you plenty of times now that it's not a joke. This is all very real, and not a dream. I don't have the confidence to love a baby that was birthed by some old grandma at the age of 39. I don't even want to know what the poor soul looks like after coming out of you. So hurry up and leave me when you get home.
Well, then I'm never letting you see the two of us ever again.
Thank God. Now I'm on my way to being a free man again. I'm gonna have a lot more fun in my second life. I was never going to stay with you once you turned 40. And having to raise that kid beside you would have been hell. Thank God you're okay with going away. Goodbye now, Grandma.
But can you promise one thing to me before you go?
What?
I'll agree with getting the divorce. But in return for that, you're never to come back to me or my daughter if you ever need any help.
I don't plan to ever see you guys again. There's no reason for me to in the first place. So I promise to never come around you two again. Is that what you wanted to hear?
Well, if you're going to promise me that, then we can get a divorce. And of course I'm going to be getting full custody of my daughter.
You can have it. I don't even want to think of that brat as being mine.
Alright then. You may be one of the worst men on the planet, but thank you for giving me my beautiful daughter. Now please never show your face around us again.
I never will. But that also means you and that brat can never come looking for me either. Bye-bye, Grandma.
Goodbye forever, you pile of trash.
It's been a while, Liz. I'm going to the wedding right now.
Excuse me? But who is this?
You know who I am. I'm the father of today's wedding bride. I've been looking forward to this wedding for a long, long time. And so today, I'm going to meet with her.
Hold on for a moment. What are you talking about? Do you still think that you're her father? Even after a whole 20 years have gone by and you've said nothing to either one of us, what are you trying to do by texting me all of a sudden?
I wanted to tell you that I'm going to the wedding. This is going to be a very emotional day for all of us when I finally get to see the daughter of mine that was taken from me.
Huh? I'm not quite sure how you even figured out where her wedding would be today, or that she was even getting married in the first place. But stop trying to be obnoxious by sending me all these texts.
Well, I'm the father of the bride. So I'm allowed to be at that wedding.
This is getting out of hand. Can you please open your eyes for a sec? Do not come over here. Did you forget about the promise you made to me 20 years ago that allowed me to divorce you? Hey, are you listening to me right now?
Why did that happen? Why was everyone being so crazy with me when I got in there? Is everyone at that wedding a freak? Tossing me out of my own daughter's wedding? I'm a friggin' father!
Is it time that you'll be willing to open your dang eyes finally? The way you came in looking like trash and causing all that embarrassment for my daughter. And another thing, you need to stop calling my daughter yours.
Why do I have to stop? She's my daughter too.
After not even being in the hospital room with me while I gave birth, you threw us out. And then you chased after a young woman and left us for a very long time. And after 20 years, you're all of a sudden back here trying to get into my daughter's wedding? I can't think of another reason as to why you're doing this besides that you really messed up with your head while you've been gone.
You can call me messed up all you want, but what else was I supposed to do today? That young gal lied to me and got me stuck with her and all of the debt she had. And so me being messed up right now is not my dang fault. I was lied to and played for a fool. I didn't plan on turning into a bum after I left you.
I don't care what happened with you and that girl because I don't care about you. You're a stranger to us all, and you said you'd never come back to us, right? You promised that. She has no clue who you are, and she even said that to your face today.
And that was screwed up big time. That is not something she should ever say to her parents. Have you not been raising her properly this whole time? Are you sure this is all because you're too old and can't handle kids?
What? What the hell are you trying to do right now after saying things like that about my daughter and I? You're blaming my way of raising her because she was so worried by some random men coming into her wedding and having him thrown out? I don't want to hear that crap out of your mouth ever again after you left us when she was only just born. If you want to know who's really at fault for today, I'd say your parents are because they obviously didn't raise you right. Well, at this point, I'm sure you already know, and so do your parents.
I want to know who that man is. And the father of the... What's that all about?
Huh? That's the man I got married to. Are you acting as though I needed to tell you anything about him, though? Do you still not see that you have no right being around us right now?
Why was that man that you married sitting in the seat that was labeled for the bride's father? That's my frickin' seat. If you start pissing me off any more than I already am, things are gonna get scary for you. Go tell those 2 idiot security guards that I'm okay and let me come sit there.
Why are you getting upset with me for no reason? Do you think that making threats like that will get me worked up?
What?
I'm really worried about what's gotten into you that's made you so screwed in the head. You're the one that threw us away years ago, right? And after 20 years of realizing how badly you messed up, you came on my daughter's biggest day looking like garbage to do what? Why the hell are you here, Andy? And why do you think you have any right to be here? Do you need something from us? Tell me right now.
You're the real piece of garbage for getting married again without telling me. I came back here to get my family back together.
Get your family back together? Huh? Do you think that my daughter and I are your family or something, Randy? We have a new family now, and you're not part of it. All you are is some strangers that we're starting to think might need to visit a psych ward. I don't want to hear anything about how upset you are that I got married again when you were the one that got divorced to me to run off with a young woman. I think you better zip that mouth of yours and keep it zipped.
Give me that seat back. She's my daughter.
Come on, Randy. It was nice of you to make me laugh a little, but your joke is getting old now. You have never even met my daughter before. So why do you keep thinking that she's your daughter after it's been 20 years? I think the only reason you've come out here for her is because you're broke. And so, this is all out of desperation now. That kind of thinking is only something a complete lunatic would have.
You don't have to take it that far. I am a bit worried about money right now. But I didn't come today for that reason.
Then, what's your reason for being here? Tell me right now.
I had heard that she was going to get married, and so I asked a friend about it that knows her. And she told me that the wedding would be taking place close by, so I thought it would be okay for me to come and see it. I was hoping for a very dramatic reunion after 20 years of never seeing any of you. I wanted us to all be crying out of happiness for being able to see one another again. But now that things have become so hectic, I have no idea what I'm doing here anymore. I had believed that we could all talk about each other's lives again.
Wait, why did you think that we'd all be open arms to you? There's no reason for us to be, right? There was no way this was going to turn into some sort of dramatic reunion. Have you even noticed the contradiction there is in your plan?
What?
You have never even met my daughter before.
And why does that mean anything? How would that contradict anything in my plans for today? I'm her father, and so she should be all happy and crying to see me.
You act like this would be a reunion with her, but this was her first time ever seeing you. Asking to have a dramatic reunion when you need to introduce yourself to her first? How come you thought this would actually play out so well for you?
Now that you say it back to me, I'm sure it would have been odd. But that's not all. She's my daughter, right?
I'm too tired to talk with you anymore about this. Did you think that being related to her by blood made you her father? I'm sorry, Randy, but my husband has been with my daughter since she was 3 years old and has helped me raise her since then. And so she calls my husband the father, and there's no changing that now. To her, it does not matter whether she's related to her by blood or not.
There's no way. That's a frickin' lie.
You don't have to be able to believe it, but we all think that we're a family, and you can't do a thing about that. So, you can say what you want about us, but don't think it's going to bother us. We have nothing to do with you after all.
Even if she does see him as her father, she should still be a little curious about her real father, right? That's the whole reason I came here today to see her. Does me being here on her wedding day not make her really happy?
I think she does want to know more about her real father. It's normal for anyone to want to get to know their real parents if they never grew up knowing them. But I think after today, she no longer wants to get to know you.
Huh? Why?
You're asking me? Ha! Are you really that dense? You came into her wedding in some raggedy clothes and covered in what looks like soot. and you made a complete fool of yourself, embarrassing her on her wedding day. That right there might have just scarred her a little.
Scarred her? Why would that scar her any?
She's told me that she never wants you coming around her again now. Of course, she doesn't want you here anymore. And even after the wedding, she doesn't want you showing up. If you do come around her, or the rest of us again, we're calling the police and having you arrested. My husband knows a lot of the police officers in town, so he can make things happen quickly. So having you eradicated is all too easy for us.
Why would you do something like that to me? I only came here to see my daughter's wedding.
You just want the money that her husband has, right? And that's why we had you kicked out of there.
I don't know anything about her husband's money. Why would I know anything about that?
I can see that things are still not lining up in your reasoning. Well, it doesn't matter if you came here for his money or not, because he really has nothing to do with you. You're just the average bum to him is all. You ended up ruining your own life chasing after young girls, and that's why you came to this wedding today, hoping for some kind of money or something. Disgusting. You have nothing you can do to us now, so get lost.
I never thought you'd say such things to me. Does my daughter think the same thing of me?
You don't even know my daughter's name, so what do you think? I think after what you've seen today, you should finally understand, right? She doesn't want you around her anymore. You're just a ghost to her that hasn't been alive for the past 20 years, so you can stop trying to get involved with our lives. Now, goodbye.
Wait, please! Her husband has a lot of money then. Can you ask him just to give me a small amount? I just need enough to help myself get back on my own 2 feet again.
No. This was about money. You deserve to have no money, Randy, so I wouldn't want you getting spoiled by anyone. It was you, after all, that made your life the way it is now, right? So stop whining about not having money when you asked for it in the first place. Haha.
After that, Randy wasn't only thrown out of the wedding and never let back into it, but after throwing a huge fit in front of the wedding hall, the police came and gave him a citation for public disturbance. And after that, Liz and her family told the police that he'd been causing trouble for them all day, and now he's not allowed anywhere near them or else the police will arrest him as Liz, her husband, and her daughter all put a restraining order on him. Once that had all played out, Randy was still left with a large amount of debt and slowly began to fall victim to it. I think he's finally starting to regret everything he did in the end to Liz and her daughter. But to be honest, him regretting things now is way too late, and he should have been regretting what he's done a whole lot sooner when he may still have a chance with Liz.
Hey, I know you're in there. Open the door. I've been ringing the intercom for a while now. How long are you gonna keep me waiting? You're such a useless daughter-in-law. As I'm always saying, I can't have you coming here every day like this. Why can't I visit my daughter-in-law? I know you're just sitting around watching TV. When your mother-in-law comes to visit you, you should let her in and make some tea. Does your husband know about this? He warned you just the other day not to cause trouble. He seemed quite disappointed. Why are we talking about my husband? It's none of your business. Just let me in. I'm sorry, but I can't let you in today. I've been suffering from morning sickness lately. That's just another excuse to avoid me, isn't it? I know what you're thinking. I wonder why Tucker married a girl like you. Was there anything urgent you wanted to talk about? Oh, yes. I wanted to ask you something. Tell me which hospital you go for the prenatal checkups. Why do you want to know that? I need to know so that I can go meet my newborn grandchild. Or are you telling me you won't even allow me to meet your baby? All right. I'll send the info to you later. Good. Tiffany, are you okay? Well, there's no way you'd be okay, I guess. You stole my lovely son and got pregnant with his baby. That's your punishment for that. That's why I pushed you down the stairs. I hope you have a miscarriage. What are you talking about? This is no time to bully me. Did you have a miscarriage? You deserved it. Sarah fell down the stairs. Sarah? She's Tucker's little sister, but we're close like real siblings. We got pregnant around the same time, so we decided to go to the same hospital. Today, we were at the hospital together, and while I was in the bathroom, someone pushed her and she fell down the stairs. Really? Just now, you said you pushed me down the stairs. Were you the one? What are you trying to say? Where were you this afternoon? Sarah and I had similar clothes today, and we're about the same height. Did you confuse Sarah with me and push her down the stairs? You're suspecting me? If that was true, it'd be your fault. Why would it be my fault? If you hadn't stolen Tucker from me, I wouldn't have done that. Is that a confession? Don't be ridiculous. If anything happens to Sarah's child, it'd be your fault. I'll charge you pain and suffering damages in that case. Also, you'd have to divorce my son. I didn't do anything. No, it's your fault. You should prepare for the divorce. Got it?
Mom, what on earth were you thinking?
What's wrong?
What do you mean, what's wrong? I heard you pushed Sarah down the stairs. What's more, you were actually trying to harm Tiffany. You knew both of them were pregnant. How could you put the babies' lives in danger like that?
I'm not the one who pushed her. But they were both fine, weren't they? I'm sorry for what happened to Sarah. It should have been Tiffany instead. You're fooled by that toxic woman. I have to free you from that woman's curse.
You need to stop this. You've always been a helicopter parent. You just want me to be your puppet and act as you please.
That's not true. I'm just worried about you.
Anyway, the issue here is not about me. It's about Sarah and Tiffany. Even if you deny it, I'm convinced it was you.
Tucker? How dare you say that to your mother?
Then, where were you around noon?
I was having tea with some neighbors.
Really? I'm pretty sure you've asked your friends to cover you up. I don't trust you.
Why can't you trust what your mother says? It must be that woman. She's made you a bad boy.
Stop calling my wife that woman. I've had enough of this. It's no use talking to you.
Tucker? You must have told Tucker. Yes, I informed him of the accident. I can't believe you. Tucker used to be such a good boy. He was so sweet. But now he's turned against me. This is all your fault. Why would it be my fault? I was against his marriage with you from the very beginning. A girl like you, who grew up in an abusive environment, is not fit to be with my son. I don't know why he fell for a woman like you. When I first went to say hi to you, you seem to have accepted me. You told me that I can think of you as my real mother. My own mother neglected me, so I was so happy to have the opportunity to build a good relationship with you. I said that meaning I'll treat you the same way as your real mother did. I believed you. I never thought you'd betray me. I didn't betray you. You just believed what you wanted to believe. That's all. You don't even feel bad about it. As soon as we got married, you called me a failure and a useless daughter-in-law. Your condescending look is just like my mother's. What? I'm the boss among the women who live in this neighborhood. How dare you equate me to a poor idiot like your mother? All your expensive clothes and jewelry were bought with your husband's earnings. Does he approve of that? What he earns belongs to both of us. In other words, I have the right to use his money. I won't let him complain about how I spend it.
I see. Then do as you please. You'll regret it, though.
You're so annoying. Tiffany, it's time for you to divorce my son. I prepared the divorce papers on your behalf. You should be grateful. I already filled out Tucker's part.
Do you know what you're saying?
You may not know this, but it's okay to have someone else fill out your divorce papers. Well, you have to provide a reason why that person can't write it themselves. I'm sure they'll accept it if I write that my son injured his hand.
But that wouldn't count unless Tucker agrees to it. Worst case scenario, you could be charged with a crime.
Silly girl. Tucker cares about me more than anyone else in the world. If I tell him to break up with you, he will. Right now, he's still under your evil spell and wouldn't listen to me, but once he spends some time away from you, I'm sure he'll go back to the sweet and obedient Tucker he used to be.
I think you should worry more about yourself than us.
What do you mean by that? It sounds like sour grapes.
Oh, you haven't noticed yet? Your husband told me that he's going to charge you for all the money you've spent on yourself without his approval.
What? You're lying, right?
I'm not lying. I just talked to your husband last night. It's still just a rough estimate, but it's probably a little less than $50,000. I was surprised to hear that you spent so much.
Wait a minute. Why would a husband charge his wife money?
No matter how many times he told you not to spend money on your personal luxury, you never listened. He's been putting up with your actions for years, but this time, he lost his patience. He wants you to take responsibility for what you've done. Charging you money is the first step.
I don't have that kind of money. What should I do?
That's none of my business.
You useless daughter-in-law. Tucker, please. I need you to go talk to your father. There's a good reason why I bought those expensive clothes and jewelry. It is important to be in a good position among the neighborhood in order to gather information and not to be looked down on by newcomers. As the boss of this neighborhood, I had to look neat and show dignity. Your father has forgotten what it takes to live in this wealthy community. So please, persuade him not to charge me any money.
I refuse.
Why?
Because I agree with Dad.
You have no idea what I've been through. I dress neatly for the sake of our family.
Mom, you're always so selfish. You over-exaggerate when it comes to expressing your own feelings, but you almost never care about the people around you.
That's not true. I've always cared about you deeply and always put you first.
No, you were just trying to make me do what you wanted me to do. You've always been like that. You wouldn't let me do anything without your permission. Even when it came to making friends. Have I ever been able to make my own decision in anything? No. How to spend the day, what books to buy, which friends to make. I had to follow your will in deciding on everything. Did you know that's considered neglect too?
That's an exaggeration. I just wanted you to become a great man.
Your excessive interference has even affected my friendships. You took away the opportunities for me to grow through relationships.
Oh no!
That's why you don't like Tiffany. Because I chose to marry her on my own, and she's not someone you picked. But even if you didn't like that, that's no reason to bully her. No one would want to help a person who would pick on their spouses.
What am I supposed to do then? There's no way I can live with a $50,000 debt.
You're on your own. You've made your bed. Now lie in it.
I understand. You won't take my side either. Then I'll ask my neighbors to help me. They trust me, so I'm sure they'll easily lend me some money.
You're trying to rely on others again. It's no use asking your neighbors, though.
What? How can you be so sure?
I happened to meet the person living next door the other day. She said she already heard rumors about you,
What rumors?
that you pushed Sarah down the stairs.
That wasn't me. But why would they know about that? She must have told them. That woman spread words to torment me.
Stop blaming Tiffany like that. The source of the rumor is the hospital. Tiffany and Sarah go to a general hospital near our house. And it seems like one of the neighbors saw the moment you pushed her.
No way! I made sure no one was looking at me.
You've decided to stop covering it up? Well, I already know the truth, so it doesn't matter anyways. Now that they know, none of the neighbors trust you anymore.
What am I supposed to do now? This is all your fault. Why do I have to go through all this? I'll sue you. Give back my happiness. What in the world did I do to you? And what are you trying to sue me for? Did you think I'd be intimidated if you told me you'd sue me? You're making fun of me. My life is about to be ruined because you married Tucker. I would have lived in peace if it wasn't for you. Why did I push Sarah instead of you? I had to carefully observe my target. You have no remorse at all, do you? Why would I have remorse? Other than mistaking Sarah with you, I've done nothing wrong. You're just like my own mother who abused me. She was a person who would never admit her wrongdoings, no matter what. If I opposed her even a little, she would slap me in the face. You guys are cowardly people who try to escape by blaming others. Do you understand why we would oppose our parents? Huh? It's just that you guys don't like our decisions. It's not just that. Our human rights have been violated and taken away by you parents. However, in order to protect ourselves, we had no choice but to obey. And yet, you treat your children as if they were your possessions. And to top it off, you turn a blind eye to the people who you've hurt. That's why your family abandoned you. What? They wouldn't abandon me. They still haven't told you? Your husband, Tucker, and Sarah. They're all cutting ties with you. No way! Anyone could have seen this coming. After all the suffering you've put them through, you pushed a pregnant woman down the stairs. After cutting you off, your husband is going to start living alone. That house is in his name now, so he's going to sell it and use that money to move out. What? Why is this happening? You'd better get ready to move out too. Or else, they'll throw away your belongings without your permission. Tiffany, can't you do something about this? You have to help me. I'll apologize for everything I've done. How much will your apology mean to me? I'll get down on my knees or whatever. It's not right to break off a family relationship that easily. Don't you think? I don't know. I've already cut ties with my own mother. Oh no! You should at least reflect on what you've done. I guess this will be our last conversation then. Goodbye. Where am I supposed to go now? I heard Sarah was discharged from the hospital.
Yeah, I'm really glad she and the baby were okay.
Indeed. I was worried that if anything happened, it would be my fault.
Stop right there. You should not be blaming yourself.
I know.
You tend to blame yourself for anything bad that's happening around you, but you've got to stop this bad habit.
I grew up with my mom telling me it's your fault for everything, so it's not easy. but I feel like I've been able to let go of some of my past traumas through this quarrel with your mother.
If you ever feel like blaming yourself again, just tell me. I'll remind you as many times as it takes to make you understand it's not your fault.
Thank you. I won't be a toxic mother like those two. I'm going to be a good and kind mother.
We'll make things work out together.
And so, the incident caused by my mother-in-law came to an end. It caused a great deal of turmoil, but I was able to get rid of my mean mother-in-law, and my husband was able to say goodbye to his mother, who had taunted him all his life. After that, my mother-in-law went back to her parents' house, but even there, everyone knew what had happened. I believe she can never walk with her head held high. In order to pay the money her husband had demanded, she started to work for the first time in several decades. I hear she comes home worn out every day. In the meantime, I gave birth to a healthy baby boy. I am so glad that nothing happened to him. My father-in-law looks very happy every time he sees our boy.